I want to take a stroll down memory lane for a minute, all the way back to a video a long time ago in a land far and away. Shit, this is going all the way back to before I even started saying fuck you to the YouTube order. So you know, we are jumping into the time machine for this motherfucker. Well over a year ago when Black Ops 2 first came out, I did a video called Why Call of Duty Will Never Have a Beta, and I know people watch that motherfucker because it has a couple thousand views. The premise was pretty simple. It gave the details as to why Call of Duty will never give us a beta in games. It came down to 3 simple points: time, money, and reputation. That's it. That's the gist of why we never had a beta. Time, money, reputation. Well, today I want to revisit the premise of that video because it seems a number of things I said in that video were correct and ultimately could change based on exactly what I said. So let's look at all 3 topics to start. Time is an easy one. Because Activision was rotating their 2 developers like their favorite 2 call girls in a gangbang each year. That's the best way to describe what happened to those motherfuckers. Anyway, since they were used to being used and abused each year to make games, the logic behind not releasing a beta was that there wasn't enough time to create one. Instead of wasting their time making a beta before release, they would use their limited development time to sell us the beta. No shit, each year we bought it, each year it came with a share of fuck-ups, and over time they actually fixed their damn product. Well, in some cases, not all cases. Reason number 2 is the driving force: money. Not that the beta costs too much money to create, but the fact that we stupidly buy Call of Duty each year and give them more and more money for no goddamn reason. Activision's logic is why fix what ain't broke. If people are willing to give us billions each year for a rushed out, unfinished, half-assed product, why should they change the formula if we're so willing to keep giving up our money? Think about it. If you go to a strip club and a stripper comes up to you and you give her $20 for half of a dance, she's going to continue to come over and give you half of a dance for $20 until you say, you know what, I want a full dance for $20. I ain't giving you shit until you complete your full dance. Then you'll see how quickly that behavior changes. That's exactly what Activision has been doing to us. And the final reason that I want to mention is reputation. Activision was very worried that if they rolled out a beta that didn't work, people would judge an already hot button topic based on an unfinished product. Imagine the reviews. Oh, Call of Duty is glitchy this year. Imagine the fan reaction ahead of time. Oh, Call of Duty sucks this year. There's no reason to buy that piece of shit. Activision was always worried that bad press and bad word of mouth based on a beta could derail their sales. So instead of offering people a glimpse of what was coming, you would just have to pay full price and take your chances with that bullshit. These 3 principles have been in place for Activision for years. However, if you look at the current landscape of gaming and you look at what I said about those 3 factors, Activision would be forced to change eventually. I specifically said, if you fuck with their money, you will force them to change their ways. And sure enough, we fucked with their money. Other developers are fucking with their money. Other studios are fucking with their money. And their reputation is already tanking based on some of the inferior products they put out for the past 4 or 5 years. One by one, let's take a look at what's changing these days. Time. The one thing that Activision is able to control was the time it takes to develop a game. Since Infinity Ward and Treyarch were burning themselves out stupid trying to make their games, Activision pulled their smartest move in years by adding a 3rd company. Now, I won't get into the quality of what Sledgehammer is going to put out this year, but we'll just say that Treyarch will be the biggest benefactor of this 3-studio decision, as they now have an extra year to develop their version of Call of Duty. Sledgehammer Games says their game has been in development for 3 years, but I'm a little sketchy on that claim. Obviously, 3 years ago, they had just released Modern Warfare 3 in collaboration with Infinity Ward. So unless they had this game planned out before that, or they started immediately on this project the day Modern Warfare was released, and somehow Infinity Ward took over all support for that game afterwards, it's certainly a possibility. The 3-year time frame is a little bit of a stretch. I can't imagine they just created one game and immediately jumped into the next game without taking a break and just going right into production mode. That's a quick turnaround time for any company, let alone one who got thrown into Modern Warfare 3 and is now making their very first standalone Call of Duty game. That's quite a stretch for somebody to say that they've been working on this for 3 years. Either way, Activision has now given all 3 studios the one thing they kept saying prevented them from making a beta: time. Giving them an extra year to create this game is certainly something we can all agree will benefit everyone. So I do commend Activision for finally pulling their head out of their ass and doing the right thing after all these fucking years. So, issue number 1 is finally addressed. Issue number 2, which is usually always issue number 1. Money. Like a crackhead to a needle, Activision is addicted to money. And for years, they milked that Call of Duty teat until it was all dried up. Last year, Call of Duty Ghosts failed to continue Call of Duty's streak of topping its predecessor. It also failed to be the year's top-selling game for the first time in 7 years. So with one game, Ghosts managed to fuck up Activision's money. It didn't top Black Ops 2 in sales, which is pretty much what each subsequent Call of Duty manages to do. It also got blown the fuck out of the water by Grand Theft Auto 5 in sales. Holy shit, I'm going to talk about this shit a little bit later, but almost doubled the number of sales for Grand Theft Auto 5. It normally takes Call of Duty about 2 weeks to top 1 billion in sales. Grand Theft Auto did it in 3 days. Call of Duty usually dominates the sales market each year, but this year, they got totally fucked up. Although, the game certainly sold well and was the second highest game of the year, and the third highest selling Call of Duty game after Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2 overall, we finally fucked with Activision's money. DLC sales are the lowest since World at War, and that's saying something right there. Playtime has dwindled to the lowest numbers since Black Ops 1, although Activision wants to blame that on the console generation. Either way, when you look at what happened, Ghosts failed to deliver like Call of Duty always does. And with Advanced Warfare receiving its share of mixed reviews so far, it's quite possible the sales will dip again this year. The one thing I said in that video is until we fuck with their money, they won't change. Guess what? We have officially fucked with their money. Part 3 is reputation, and that has to deal with judging a video game based on a beta. Now, sadly enough, their biggest competitor, Battlefield, ran into that problem. Battlefield 4 had an awful beta, and then it was plagued by an awful launch. Meanwhile, Ghost ran pretty smooth. Hey, you have to give Infinity Ward credit where credit's due. Ghost has played with limited issues, and that's something Call of Duty has always suffered from. But Activision didn't want their biggest seller to be undermined by reviews on a beta, and they have avoided it. Battlefield takes their chances each year with their fake beta, hoping to sway people as a sales tool. So the question becomes, does Activision want to risk Call of Duty's fragile reputation based on a beta? I believe next year we will see a beta. A true beta. I believe we, the gamers, have shown Activision what we want in our games, and all you have to do is look at the landscape of what's happened with games that will essentially rival Call of Duty over the next few years. Grand Theft Auto 5 was the best example. It is the first game to go head-to-head with Call of Duty and topple it in sales. They created an amazing campaign, and it took 4 years to develop. But what happened to their online portion of the game? It failed miserably at launch and has since become a bit of a joke, feeling like it's been in a permanent beta itself. Rockstar is a studio known for secrecy. They don't attend conventions or trade shows like E3 or Gamescom. They don't offer previews or betas, and they went ahead with Grand Theft Auto 5, which had an amazing campaign, by the way, but a miserable online portion that truly needed a beta. Whether you think it's fair or not that Grand Theft Auto is judged by their online problems is irrelevant. This isn't about fair, it's about reality. They know they fucked up. They admit they fucked up. But they made a shitload of money before their major fuck up. Something Call of Duty will pay attention to now that we're fucking with their money. But even though they made their shitload of sales, their reputation took a hit because they didn't offer a beta when they had their chance to. Battlefield, their biggest rival, launched another buggy ass demo. Can't even call that shit a beta because it's really just a preview and data collecting operation. After that buggy ass demo, they launched an absolutely fucked up version of Battlefield 4. I don't care how good a game could be. When it is unplayable for days, weeks, and months, you cannot consider that a good product. Doesn't matter if it worked on some consoles and others or not, I don't give a fuck. That is a fucking failure. Do you not think Activision didn't watch that shit? Oh, hell yeah, they did. Their biggest rivals rolled out a beta and still fucked up. You take notice of that shit. In order to smooth stuff over with their fans, Battlefield Hardline has already rolled out a beta. Really, it's like an alpha. A good 3 months earlier than normal so that EA can show fans they're serious about changing their ways and they want to make sure their franchise still appeals to their fans. They know DICE fucked up on Battlefield 4, so they're already making their effort to smooth shit over with fans with Battlefield Hardline. They have a lot of catching up to do and they have a lot of PR work to do to get people back in their good side. In the coming months and next year, there will also be 2 other games that are going to be on people's radar that will also offer major betas, Halo and Destiny. Halo is already offering up beta access because after all, it was Call of Duty that took the crown from them all these past couple of years. Halo 4 sold great numbers and then got flat out crushed by Call of Duty Online, according to Xbox's own figures. So naturally, they want that share of the market back and they're going to be launching a beta 1 full fucking year before the game actually releases. Why? Because they need to find out what they need to do to beat Call of Duty. They want their throne back. They are willing to let their fan base tell them exactly what they need to do to earn that spot again. So when you guys go out and you buy this Halo crap or whatever this collection is, you're going to be getting a beta to Halo 5 Guardians or whatever that shit is. You're also going to be getting the online portion to all the prior Halo games, in which 343 Studios is going to be tracking all the data and all the things people like and don't like about their games because they want to change for Halo 5. They want to kick Call of Duty's ass. There is no question about that. That is the only reason you're getting the beta. As much as they're saying is to help shape the future of Halo, it's really to fight against Call of Duty because they want their throne back. Destiny is the other major beta coming, but this was more of a fight with Grand Theft Auto than Call of Duty. But that doesn't mean Call of Duty can't learn from this. Bungie is creating something completely new. It's a brand new franchise that will be the most expensive game in history. So naturally, Activision, of all fucking companies, is pushing a beta. The same developer of Call of Duty now wants you to try this beta for them before the launch of the game. Part of this is to avoid what happened to Grand Theft Auto 5 and their launch of their online product. Part of this is to test out a brand new series before it ever hits the market. And part of this is to test the market to see whether or not this is viable for a Call of Duty game. Trust me, Activision is not launching a beta for Destiny just for shits and giggles. They are not launching this beta without Call of Duty in mind. Call of Duty is their bread and butter. Destiny is sort of like a bagel with cream cheese, which is pretty much an upgrade to bread and butter. So Activision, guarantee you, will be using Destiny as a guinea pig to see whether or not a viable beta is good enough for Call of Duty. I will tell you right now, Activision is going to be paying close attention to almost every single beta launch from now until next year, whenever the fuck Black Ops 3 is going to have a beta. Remember these three reasons: time, money, and reputation. Activision created the time, we have the money they want, and Call of Duty's reputation is now at stake with other franchises finally closing in on their market dominance. Although my first video was titled Why Call of Duty Would Never Have a Beta, I think it's appropriate to say now that the video should be called What We Need to Do to Get a Motherfucking Beta. Mark my words, Activision is going to cave into the fans. They are going to cave into the pressure. The walls are closing in on them, and it's just a matter of time before they relent and realize the one thing that Call of Duty has been missing all these past fucking years is fan input. Now, one other thing I would like to add before I conclude this video. This coming weekend, 4th of July weekend here in the United States, which is our Independence Day for those not familiar with US holidays. You know, we kicked the shit out of England over 225 years ago, so we have to celebrate cunt punting them back across the ocean. Anyways, this coming weekend, I'm going to be returning to the older Call of Duty games to get some online footage for the Goodbye PlayStation 3 series. Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare 3. They all need footage for the future of the series. So for those of you who are on my friends list already and you're interested in joining up, chances are you just need to be online during that time, and I'll invite people in to party with me. So as long as I'm online, I see some people I need to play with, chances are I'm going to be sending out some invites. For those of you who are not on my friends list and you're interested in trying to join in on the fun, you can visit Prestige Gamers, and in the Call of Duty section, you're going to find me there with some info on how to join me and whatnot. Now, remember, parties are only for 5 people. So if I have 5 people online already, that's who I'm going to be going with. If you happen to be on during this weekend and you feel like maybe playing against me, by all means, we're going to be on. Maybe you'll get lucky. You'll end up in a room against me and our friends. But it's this weekend only. I will have to make my dreaded return to World at War, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare 3. Oh man, games I swore I would never go back and play, but I need to for the Goodbye PlayStation 3 series. Obviously, I have to return one final time to all those games I can't stand. So, if you are interested, head over to the website. I'm going to have some intro as to when I'm going to be on up in this motherfucker. But remember, I can only get 5 people with me into my parties, and chances are it's going to be 5 people I either already know or someone that's already online, that's already on my friends list. But again, more information is going to be over at the website, so you guys can go check that out. Anyways, this was a long-ass video, but guess what? I don't give 2 shits. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.